Everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse, and today I know I already made a speed build earlier for the Asian small-clawed otter and the Eurasian otter, but I have a love for special otter, and that is the sea otter. Ever since I saw them at the Blue Planet here in Denmark, I fell in love with them. I have a teddy of them and they mean so much to me. So I needed to do this, and yeah, I just couldn't wait. So you're gonna get 2 videos today. I hope you're okay with that. Before we get too much into it, I just want to mention again that I'm kind of in the works on another zoo. I won't finish this up right away, but this is becoming a bit too big, so at some point we will end this and start something else. But I just want to have kind of 2 zoos running at the same time. So I have this where it's very thought through and intentionally everything I do, everything I want to build, every animal in here I need to have a story and that. And then I want another zoo where it's more loosey-goosey. And I do think I might want to do this other zoo as live streams. They will still be uploaded so you can see them afterwards if you can't join when I'm live, of course. I have noticed that a lot of my viewers comes from the US, but also a big part from Asia, which I really appreciate. I have 0 viewers from Denmark, and I think it's 0.3% from Europe overall. So I appreciate I at least can hit some other parts of the world with this. But my plan is to make them as live streams, and I will try to plan them so you're gonna know before, and I will also put it up on my Instagram before I go live, so you have a fair chance of joining. And basically it will be the first episode I gonna make a train station, and from there on out, episode for episode will be what you decide. And I have a wish list. At this point I have a night house, aardvark and meerkat house, which will be very fun to make with a train. But basically the idea is that I'm gonna have this one ride, and my guests won't be able to see any animals without using the ride. So I gotta make all the time the next habitat, the next habitat, the next habitat, the next habitat in the line for the train. So I won't have any way to plan out this, and I won't of course be able to make any research of it. Of course, if there are anything I just have on my mind about the animal, I will mention it, but overall it will be very surprising what we're gonna go do. It will of course be a bit slower since it won't be a speed build, but it will really allow me to get to know you, and hopefully you to get to know me. I did think about doing it on Twitch, but I decided to do it here on YouTube. So maybe this week, maybe next week, I will keep you posted on the Instagram on when we're gonna do it. But it will be up there at a point within the next couple of weeks. I just need to fix a little bit of lighting and stuff, because we're gonna go all out for this. So I really hope you're excited for it. I really am. So yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm going on morning or evening, or maybe I'm gonna change a bit so it isn't like a fixed time every week. So if you can't at some times, then maybe next week or the week after that you will be able to join. It's just what I think. But yeah, let's focus on today and let's talk a little bit about my favorite otter, the sea otter. And I know what you think. I made a otter habitat earlier today for the Asian small-clawed otter and the Eurasian otter. If you haven't seen that video yet, it is linked below. But why would I already make another otter habitat? Because it's completely different. As we talked about earlier today, the Asian small-clawed otter live in freshwater and the Eurasian water both live in freshwater and saltwater. The sea otter only live in the sea, so that would be saltwater, and it live much more up north, even more north than the northerns of the Eurasian otters, so they have a much cold climate. So above water here you will see a giant difference. You will also see I will make the water in here still tropical and blue, but it will be darker than it is on the other otters because it will be in the ocean, and I want to give the guest the feel that you are in the deeper saltwater, maybe a little more mercury, dusty water, muddy water in this habitat. So if you are in the other water viewing area, then going from one habitat with others to another, you can see a difference. Not the biggest difference, but if you can't see it clearly, then at least something in the back of your mind will tell you there's a difference here. The sea otter is of course a otter, but it have this dark brown coat as most otter do, but the face is much lighter. Not white, but a very much lighter. You can also see them swim here. It's a clear difference in color. Then they have this round eyes, small round ears that they can close along with their nose, which they also can close when they dive for longer times. Then they of course have their whiskers, and on their front legs, which are very short, they have these small paws with rectangular claws, which they both use to catch food, but also to kind of pick up food or open like shells or something like that, so they can eat only what's inside and not the entire seashell. Their back legs, however, is much more interesting because they have these long toes, extra long toes, which are with a lot of webbing in between, so it's kind of like looking like those swimming shoes you can use when you dive in the water. And it just seems weird, but it's makes sense since they don't only swim in small rivers, they actually swim large distances in the ocean. But which ocean? They live in the oceans around North America and Asia, most on the eastern side of Asia, so they live at the coast around Canada, Japan, Mexico, Russia, and United States, and they mainly live in the Pacific Ocean. Even though they live on the coast, they can actually spend a lot of time in the water, and therefore they are also considered as marine animals. I know this is a little bit unlike these videos, but I'm gonna put in a picture here. What you see here is known as a raft or a pod. And this is one of the ways that sea otters can go on top of water and relax and take a little nap during the day without sinking into the ocean. They will just merge in together with other sea otters and make these small rafts so they keep each other afloat. During the night, however, they need something a little more secure, so therefore they will wrap themselves in sea kelp and whatever they find that's naturally floating on top of water, and wrap themselves into, and there they can take a nice little nap or sleep for the night, secure without being drowning in any way. I will say though, they are very good swimmers and they can actually dive down to 45 meters. They do, however, prefer to only live places down to 30 meters, but they can dive down to 45. In a second here you will see me remove that submarine again. I was intending to use it, but the fact is that the modder here, I believe it's Narwhaler who made this mod, didn't add the submarine as enrichment, so therefore they would only be in the way. The only time that the Sea Otter actually need to go on land is actually doing a storm, and it's not just a tiny storm, it's when the storm actually throws the water around again. They normally only dive to the 30 meters, so therefore the water will throw the otters out of the ocean, into rocks, down in the ocean, whatever the storm wants. And the otters don't like that, so there they will go on land, but they don't have to otherwise. Compared with the other otters we talked about today, which live in this family group with mom and dad and their offspring, the otters actually don't really live in those groups. Of course they will band together to form these rafts, but they aren't a group necessarily. They can meet with random otters and do that if they want to. But they usually don't move a lot otters, so it will be roughly the same otters in the same area. So us is that they met before. However, the females will avoid the males at all cost until it's actually a time to use them for reproductive purposes, because what else could you use them for? One thing we also talked about with the other otters is this grooming behavior that otters have. They have kind of two layers of fur, and the inner layer, they kind of pick in and groom in a way so it get bubbles of air in there, and therefore the inner layer of fur will be completely covered in bubbles of air. This kind of works at diving gear, you know, not the wetsuit but the dry suit, is it called that? I have no idea, but you know what I mean. So the air will keep the otter isolated when they dive in the cold oceans, and therefore it is important that they can do this, and they can also do that in while they are floating in the sea kelp or on these rafts with other otters. Sea otters is kind of what we can call a practical eater. They don't care to find the most delicious dish they can find. They eat whatever there is. Therefore they eat fish, marine invertebrate, kelp, urchins, I think it's called, sea stars, coast mussels, purple hinge rocks, scallops, limpets, and chitons, I think they're called. They can also eat crabs, squid, and octopus. So basically, they're not gonna fight for their food. They're not gonna swim a long way for their food. They're gonna eat what's there, which free them up to have all of this playtime along with other otters. Again, they do live in areas with other otters, but they just don't have this family dynamic that other otters have. The mating system is also something that really pulls the sea otter apart from other others. Again, family dynamic, the mom and dad have the group together, they grow up together, they get multiple pups and all of this. The female chooses when she wants to get pregnant, then she meet a male, then she get pregnant, then she pregnant for a year, and then she get a single cub. The father is already out of the picture. She don't bother with him. Mating done, out of the door. The pup will be independent after 6 to 8 months. This is much later than the other otters, but it makes sense since she only have one, so she have the time to take care of it, and it takes a year that she have been pregnant with it. So it makes sense that they develop much slower. One thing that's actually very fascinating with the pups here is, even though the mother live in the ocean and kind of stays up there, she will kind of lay on the top of the ocean with the baby, and then when it's time to look for food, then she will wrap the baby in sea kelp and make kind of little nursery for it, so it stay on top of water, and then it can stay up there until she's 8 and ready to take care of it again. I will just mention that it's only for the first 2 months, since it don't really dive before that, but after that it will start diving with her and learn the basics of being a sea otter. Earlier, the sea otter was hunted very heavily, and that actually did that the number of them went from 300,000 to only 2,000 individuals in the 1700s. Remember, 2,000 could kind of be a lot, enough to get the genes going and not breed too much. But the issue is that if you are from Japan and the other population is in Canada, that's kind of a long way to go to meet someone to get a baby, so you would only breed with the ones just around you. Luckily, in 1911, the International Fur Seal Treaty did declare it illegal to hunt the sea otters, and this is of course worldwide, which has allowed the otters population to increase to 126,000 individuals nowadays, which moved them from a spot at near extinction to endangered. Now, keep in mind, endangered is still not a good place to be, but it's much better than near extinct. Nowadays they have some completely different issues, which is of course the oil spills, the weather issues. Again, we talked about hurricanes, that could be a tsunami, that could be basically everything, a volcano if there's one around. And besides that, they also have just more basic issues. They are killed by whales, for instance, infectious diseases, entanglements in fishing nets, for instance, and they can be struck by a boat. Again, they are one of the biggest otters out there, but they still are otter. A big boat won't notice if you hit them, sadly. So they still have issues, but it's a much better today. Once again, my information comes from animalia.bio. You know, I swear by that website, but it's because it works most of the time, and that's very important. Though I do sometimes use other websites, you know that, but this is one that I swear by and really love. So if you want to use the link below and go read more about the otter, or maybe another animals, the link is there for you to use it. And now I think it's time for my confession, because I made this habitat yesterday. Then today I logged in just to shoot the cinematics, and suddenly the otters wouldn't dive because I only have 81% of deep water, even though they dived yesterday. So I went in, made a little altercation to make it work, and I thought that was just a little thing, so I didn't record. And then it went down to 79, and then I did something else, and it went up to 95, and then I did something else, and it went back to 91, I think. So an issue I had, so I actually ended up making it bigger and a little bit different, but I put in the cinematics so you can clearly see what I changed. Okay, it seems like we are at the end of this video. I will just clarify, this is not the end of this playlist or this zoo. We will continue, though I will have to end it at a point because I have a limited computer and I like it to survive. So therefore we will end it at a point, but not yet. I will keep going until we have finished the zoo. But again, live stream coming up with another concept. And please comment below if you want to join that, if you're looking forward to that. If you think it's stupid, please tell me. Am I wasting my time? But until, guys, you know, I got an Instagram where I put up every kind of weird things that I'm doing, so you can keep posted on maybe plan your week if there's something you want to see that I'm putting up or something you want to miss. Plan your week after that. And besides that, guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys!